I love starting my morning off here. Hello, good people. Mark Holmes here at the Red Brick House. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is finally freaking Friday. We are 2 days away from the Dallas Cowboys going against the New York Jets without Aaron freaking Rodgers. I was actually hoping that the Cowboys would have a chance to finally get over the hump of Aaron Rodgers. Now, we have beat him before. Yes, we have one time. But it would be great with all the ballyhoo about the New York Jets to be able to say, we beat them with Aaron Rodgers. However, we've still got to face a very formidable defense, and we are still a little bit nicked up. Added to the injury report with a groin injury is Zach Martin. It's deemed, they say that it's not anything to worry about, but something, of course, to monitor. You know, this day and age is so different than when I grew up because you get the injury reports back then, but it wasn't everything is, you get a hangnail. It's being reported and so on because everybody out there, there's so many people out there covering everything that is the NFL. You look for anything to talk about. You just do. Back in the day, it was a 30-minute show before the games. Well, now you've got shows starting out at 6 a.m. game day. So, anything and everything is opened and talked about and maybe talked about more than what really needs to be. Tyron Smith has been a full participant in practice list with the ankle. Tyler Smith, they're hoping will be able to play this week, which would definitely bode well because the New York Jets front is very, very good. So we'll see where we go with this. The Dallas Cowboys defense should be able to do a lot of damage with Zach Wilson. That offensive line is not really, really good, but we'll preview the game tonight on our live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern. Last night was interesting because we're watching the Eagles. After Philly 500 literally sending me email after email telling me how great the Philadelphia Eagles team is, how, people were talking about Jalen Hurts is going to be an MVP. Well, here's the thing that I said, and I don't want to be patting myself on the back, but damn it, I'm going to pat myself on the back because a bad one. We're going to have a problem. Now get the F out of here. Okay, so thing that I said is last year was almost like, I'm not going to say a rookie year, but last year was almost like a rookie year for Jalen Hurts. He didn't have that many starts going into the season, and you didn't know exactly what the Eagles were going to do, okay? And when you don't know, when something new or something different comes out in the NFL, it ends up being sometimes really good. You look at, Ronnie Brown in the Miami Dolphins when they started running the Wildcat. Teams are like, well, what do we do against this thing? You think about RG3 with the pistol offense and when that came out. And then what happens, it's not quite as effective the next year because defensive coordinators have picked it apart and figure out ways to slow it down. Now, here's what I said. Last year, teams did not understand you cannot release the middle of the field and give a wide open look to Jalen Hurts. He's too fast. Too fast. You just can't. And I said, watch this year. You may see Jalen Hurts running, but you're not going to see him running wild up the middle of the field. And what teams have done, which is similar to what they figured out with RG3. RG3 was a little different because he ended up messing up his knee and he couldn't run as well. But teams understood, keep him in the pocket. Do not give him a lane to run in. You must have pass rush integrity where your lane is your lane and you control it. That you are, instead of worrying about getting to the quarterback, you are better off making sure that your gap, your spot is occupied. Pin him in. Keep him caged up. Don't let him have a lane to run in because one guy getting upfield, getting close to him, and there's a big hole here because he left his spot, he's gone for a big play. And you saw that last night with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, let's be clear here. The Minnesota Vikings are basically on the rebuild. They got rid of Dalvin Cook, and it showed because they could not run the ball. They end up getting rid of guys like Adam Thielen. Yes, they still have Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, but I don't want to hear any more of this Kirk Cousins bashing right now. I do not want to hear this because on a night where he had a completely backup offensive line, had no, and I mean no running game whatsoever. You can't say it was Dalvin Cook. And his wide receivers were dropping the ball left and right. Justin Jefferson fumbles the ball at the 1 yard line. It goes out of bounds and gives it to the Eagles. They go down and get a field goal before half. Their special teams, which had they just caught the ball, they would have had the ball at midfield. He runs, gets to about the 32 yard line and coughs it up. Kirk freaking Cousins did everything in the world to win that game, and Kirk Cousins should be the MVP. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, was not very good. You can say what you want. The Eagles, yes, you won the game. Granted, you won the game. And in the end, all it matters is beating the team that's in front of you. But Philly 500, this is not the team that you promised. This is not the guys. Now, Jalen Carter, he's the real deal. He is a beast that's unstoppable. But where's Hargrave? Didn't you guys say Hargrave is better than Micah Parsons? Didn't you say that this defense was going to be so good that nobody was going to be able to do anything? Yeah, you guys stopped the run. You stopped the run. Between Kirk Cousins and Mac Jones, they've thrown for almost 700 yards in 2 games. And thrown for 7 TDs. That ain't good, bro. That ain't good. And when you face better teams, when you go to Murderers Row, now be clear. Let's be clear. It was Thursday Night Football. I'm trying to put the warning on here, okay? Just like the cigarettes. The warning is it was Thursday night. It's still early in the season, and they probably have not gotten into the groove. Swift looks really good against Minnesota. Looks really good. Jalen Hurts, not so much. The linebackers and secondary for the Eagles, they look beatable. But we'll see. It's a long season, and teams will rise and fall. And so as we get ready to get out of here, and I'm about to get to work because we're trying to beautify the red brick house because we just love this mother humper. Jerry Jones said that Dak Prescott is the best leader he's ever seen in the position. And I want to hear what they have to say on ESPN about this because we know we're going to throw some shade and stuff on them because, we've been told that Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. MVP. I'm not seeing it at the moment, at least not the first 2 games. And that defense, man, they've been giving up some real estate, but we'll see. Let's check it out. All right, so it's Dak Prescott hating time, okay? What I can't wait to see today, is I want to hear what they have to say about the Eagles. I'm betting they're going to say, well, the Eagles, they were having a rough time last night, and, they found a way to win. They found a way to win when things weren't going right. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. And they're going to say, well, it was Thursday Night Football and so on. But let's see what they have to say on ESPN.
Of course, he had Troy Aikman. He did not have Roger Staubach, to be clear. That's before the Jerry Jones time. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on that comment?
But he knows who Roger Staubach is.
And in general, your thoughts on that comment and in general on the role the quarterback will have to play on a team we think has an elite defense.
We give a damn about your leadership trophy. Hey, go win. We talking about trying to win a Super Bowl, all right? Great. You think Dak the greatest leader, whatever. So I'm sure Troy had to be a great leader. They won 3 of them. All of that. Romo was a good leader. Mm-hmm. All right? I don't know how to compare these guys' leadership. Jared, to your point, just saying something. Yeah. What the hell that got to do with anything we're talking about right now? Dak has been regarded as a high-level leader since he was at Mississippi State. I was in the SEC, on the SEC network, working at SEC Nation, had a chance to meet Dak, talk to all of his coaches. The year that they won 11 games at Mississippi State and was ranked top 5, went to the Orange Bowl, I believe, with Dan Mullen. Everybody talked about Dak's leadership ability. Is it an important aspect of playing quarterback?
Yes.
You have to have some level of leadership to play it. But why are we talking about that right now? Like, I don't care about that. All I care about is when Dak get in big games, how are you going to play? And how are you going to play when your team needs you to elevate everybody else around?
When we saw what that defense did the other night,
Yes.
would you, if I make the following statement, what is
Oh, here we go.
If Dak Prescott plays as well as we've seen him play at times in the past, that's the Super Bowl favorite in the NFC.
Not yet. Because I haven't seen Dak play in those times.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, the answer is yes. If he plays as well as we've seen him play, he's had some incredible games. Yeah, this is a Super Bowl.
I don't mean every single game is.
I
mean, if Dak plays the way we think he should play.
Of course, sure.
I mean, if Dak Prescott is not as last year threw away a playoff.
I was about to say that is my. I was thinking, well, he ain't showed up yet, right? In them situations. Oh, I got you.
It's week after week in the playoff round because it's not like he didn't black out the first playoff game against Tampa. So like he had the ability, and
4 TD passes.
In that second game, the defense played incredibly well. But your quarterback is going to have to make 1 or 2 mind-blowing plays at some point in the course of a playoff run. You're going to have some moments, no matter how good your defense is.
That's true.
Dak has had those moments, but he hasn't had enough of them. And you can go back all the way through his career. He's not like he's incompetent in the playoffs.
Oh,
sometimes you got to be great. He hasn't done that yet.
All these qualified. This is what gets me about the Dak conversation all the time. People always qualify like, it's not that he's a scrub. It's not that he's not a good, decent. He's not bad. He's not the kid is a good quarterback.
The kid.
That's it. Making the playoffs isn't enough. Winning in the wild card run isn't enough. It's NFC Championship game. That's the benchmark. Like that's
we moved the bar. We moved the bar.
They have a roster that can win a Super Bowl.
We moved the bar.
For a second, forget about the 49ers.
So
the Cowboys' biggest issue all the time is themselves. It's not the other.
So hold on here for a second. So Lamar Jackson, how about that guy? Sean Watson, how about that guy? How come for those guys we don't hear any of that stuff? We don't hear any of that kind of stuff, right? Justin Herbert. Just got the big bag. The big bag. How come we don't hear that from those guys? It's only Dak Prescott.
I don't know what doesn't go. Whatever
I don't
will
know
go
what
wrong,
goes
will go wrong with the Cowboys.
Okay.
And this might be the year, Marcus. This might be the year.
Might be the year.
I'm not doing this with you.
I don't know. I don't know when it's going to be their time. I really don't.
You can say that about last year with the Buffalo Bills.
After November 5th, when Dallas goes into Philadelphia and Dak plays against Jalen for the first time when their matchup is one-on-one.
It's not the first time they've played together.
And then I'll make that decision. That's the benchmark for the Dallas Cowboys. People want to move ahead to January and February. I'm just saying November 5th in South Philly, concrete jungle. Let me see what you got.
To be clear, those teams played each other last year, but neither quarterback played both games. Dak didn't play the game that the Cowboys lost.
The Cowboys were still in it when.
He was saying he wished he had a quarterback controversy last season.
Yes.
We don't listen to Jerry.
No, that's my point.
But here's the thing, G. Like the Dak conversation is this. I said it. Remember we were talking about it's the moments for me. The whole year. I don't care about Dak is going to play well. He's going to play well. I don't think he's going to be a turnover machine like he was last year. That's not in his DNA. It hadn't been him before that season. The bottom line is this. You earn the right to be judged a certain way based on what you do when all the chips on the line. All of this other stuff is pointless.
Fair, but to the point that Sal was just making. There is a lot of time between now and January, and there were things like
he'll play well enough.
But what he can do is win the division. Can do is get a first round bye. Those things matter.
No, none of that matters for the Dak conversation, though.
None of it matters.
The Super Bowl helps a lot.
In the Super Bowl, I think that he has reached the ceiling
for
that
Dak
without
is the only
getting
one.
deep into the playoffs, without getting to the Super Bowl. He's at that ceiling. So no matter what he does for the course of the season, we all know he's among the best quarterbacks in football. We see it time after time. The stats show it. The games show it. But for us to accept him and talk about him in the conversation with the top of the league, he's going to have games that are memorable in the postseason. He's going to have big wins against top-tier opponents, lead game-winning drives at the end of those games.
Yes.
He has to do that for us to talk about him like that, because the other people, his peers, they're doing that.
They doing that. Like that's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to.
You made the point earlier, there's always scrutiny on the star, and I think that there's a degree of that going on here as well. Let's put the specifics aside, okay? Because we sat here earlier.
So it goes to show you that no matter what happens, the bar is always moved when it comes to Dak Prescott. So now it's Super Bowl or bust in order to be taught. You know, for everybody else, you know, winning the division and going deep in the playoffs, that's not good enough. Okay. It is what it is. But I'm going to say, Jalen Hurts, you know, 2.9 yards a carry and averaging about 180 yards passing, that's average. All right, good people, time to go to work. We'll be here tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. Hope you tune in then. Peace.